Hello, my name is Jessie Carrillo and I'll be presenting information about virtual organizations and teams and some of the critical aspects that affect them. First, we start with what are virtual organizations and virtual teams. Well, according to Roberts and Judge, virtual organizations are small core organizations that outsource major business functions. In addition, according to Business Dictionary, it defines virtual organizations as those that do not have a physical presence, but instead exist electronically, virtually over the internet. As for virtual teams, these are teams that use computer technology to come together to work on a specific outcome. They also exist electronically and they connect people globally. Some of the benefits that these types of organizations and teams have are things such as flexibility, whereas the employee can work from just about anywhere as long as they have access to the technology that they need. In addition, another benefit is that it eliminates permanent office spaces, where employees are not heading into an office setting on a daily basis, and some may never even walk into an office building, thus creating a benefit for the employers who do not have to spend money on renting or leasing office space. However, with this type of organizational or team structure, aspects such as organizational culture, organizational design, motivation, group behavior, communication, power and politics, and stress management must be monitored closely, as it will ensure that these aspects are aligned and reinforced with all employees of the organization and team. Especially virtual organizations and teams, they are also impacted by these aspects, just as any other organization. The first aspect that we will consider, which impacts virtual organizations and virtual teams, is organizational culture. A strong organizational culture provides stability to an organization. Therefore, it is important that an organization ensures that all its members within its organizations or within its teams are aware of its values, as constant awareness will ensure that they are committed to these values. And although this may seem impossible in a virtual setting, it is not. In fact, according to a cultural theorist, Edgar Schein, virtual organizations through technology and social media have an even greater opportunity to help others see their cultures. One way of doing so would be to discuss the organization's culture and values during regularly scheduled meetings. Feedback from these meetings and discussions can spot the essence of the culture amongst the members of these organizations or teams. The second aspect is organizational design, which is the structure of the organization or team, such as how departments, employees, and managers are structured. Design for this structure is virtual. This design has fewer layers of hierarchy and it's highly centralized as decisions are being made by a manager. There must be frequent and constant communication amongst the organization and team, as this will assist in that roles, goals, and responsibilities are clear across the board for all members, whether they're part of the virtual organization or a virtual team. The next aspect is motivation, which is the process that accounts for an individual's intensity, direction, and persistence of effort towards attaining a goal. Virtual organizations and virtual teams require consistent support so all members do not feel left out or as if they're missing out on any information. Members should feel constant connection to their organization and/or team. It is critical that this progress is monitored along the way, and this can be done with a strong leader or manager. Next is group behavior. The size of the virtual organization or team is critical, as the bigger the team, the more diversity. And although diversity can create conflict, it does allow the opportunity to solve problems in unique ways, as everyone's bringing their own skills and different ways of thinking to the team or organization. However, diversity does impact performance of the group and the behavior of the group. Therefore, in a virtual organization or team, leaders and managers can impact group behavior by establishing trust among all members. Management should be certain that the members of the group are the best choice for the desired outcome and closely monitor the group. More importantly, managers should be present and facilitate collaboration. Next, we discuss communication that happens within virtual organizations or virtual teams. In a virtual setting, communication happens mostly online using different technology to communicate. Communication in virtual organizations or teams should happen frequently to avoid feelings of isolation and to ensure that the goal and purpose of the organization or team are clear. Again, strong leadership is needed to help with this communication and to encourage it. On the other hand, members should also feel that there is an open line of communication, especially when they are in need of it. It would be a good idea for, in this case, for virtual organizations or virtual teams to keep an open line of communication, such as chat room, where they will allow members to communicate when necessary and frequently. Power and politics. First, we look at power, which is the influence or control one has on others. For power to exist, one person or group needs to have control over resources the other person or group values. Once this independence is established, influence is made. Then, after creating leadership. As far as politics, this is power in action. For politics, this usually begins as a result of the differences in the group's values, goals, and interests. Goals amongst the organization or team should be clear, as unclear goals can be the start of politics. And again, a strong leadership can help keep goals clear, which may help avoid political behavior and keep good influences amongst the organization or team. Lastly, we consider stress management. What are some causes of stress? Resources such as no management support or technology not functioning properly. Secondly, it could be demands such as a heavy workload or tight deadlines. These are just one of the few things of many that can cause stress to any individual, especially those who are part of a virtual organization or team. However, stress can be managed, and there's two different approaches that we can look at managing stress. One is an individual approach where one is individually learning effective techniques such as maybe time management techniques or increasing physical exercise, which helps or is known to help alleviate some stress. Second is organizational approach, where employers can increase employee involvement and take a more active role in helping members perform optimally. And lastly, communication. It's important to communicate. In all, virtual organizations and teams must take into account the same aspects as any other organization. Although it does not exist physically, it does exist. Virtual organizations and teams should maintain constant communication and strong leadership. This will ensure that all of its members feel connected and committed to the organization's culture and value. Thank you.